What's that BG song? Oh, of course, Staying Alive. That's exactly what the Golden State Warriors have done. Great news for Warriors fans. They won Game 7, 103-89 over the Houston Rockets. It was, without a doubt, an intense battle. We'll dive into the details of Game 7 in the first part of today's discussion, but shortly thereafter we'll need to shift our focus to what comes next. As we all know, timing is crucial right now for Golden State. They just came out a 7-game series and now enjoy one day of rest before flying to Minnesota to face the Timberwolves in Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals. So, let's preview Warriors versus Timberwolves toward the end of today's conversation, with the Timberwolves being slight favorites in the opener. Experts believe Golden State may be fatigued after a grueling Game 7 and travel. We were live for that showdown against Houston, and we'll be live for every contest between the Warriors and Timberwolves. So stay tuned. That's why you follow this channel, for daily, informative, and entertaining coverage of the Golden State Warriors, whether via video or live stream. I hope to see you all for the inaugural tip-off. Let's analyze Game 7 a bit more and review Golden State's performance data. We know one player had an outstanding showing, but we'll consider the game as a whole, noting that Golden State shot 42% from 3 in Game 7. The theme woven throughout the series, as expected, was the rebounding battle and Houston's dominance on the boards. On face value, Golden State shot 42% from 3 in Game 7, and we already knew rebounding would be pivotal, with Houston exerting its superiority in that category. Golden State was out-rebounded by 14 in the previous game and struggled on offensive boards, yet they managed to limit Houston's half-court attack. They deployed zone looks that hampered the plays Houston tried to run in that area of the court. When a role player delivers the performance we saw in the last game, the odds of winning Game 7 climb significantly. It always seems that Game 7s are a stage for unexpected heroes to emerge. I mean, he'd scored just 4 points in earlier games, then erupted for 33 in Game 7. Regardless, he was playing on a hot streak against Houston. To be fair, many of his looks were wide open, but as we know, Golden State struggled to convert free throws early in the series. He started in the lineup while the team tested various defensive schemes to counter Houston's strengths, and he shined. If he keeps that up, not that he needs to drop 33 every night against Minnesota, but simply to knock down his free throws and do his job, then Golden State's ceiling rises dramatically. We've talked constantly about the bench support Golden State can rely on. Yesterday provided the answer, as he delivered an extraordinary performance. How did Golden State motivate such a showing? He explained in the post-game press conference that they had a very emotional team meeting, led by some of his teammates. One of them mentioned that they'd had many meetings like that before, but this one stood out as special and unique. That emotional gathering was led by standout players, and while similar meetings had taken place in the past, this one was memorable enough to stay with them. The talk emphasized the meeting's importance, especially when one player expressed his determination to refocus for the next game, to keep everyone locked in and ready. The previous Game 6 setback had hurt the team's defense, allowing the opponent to exploit it. Shifting focus to another player, expectations are that he'll hold his spot in the rotation and bring energy on both ends. It was notable that this player played a crucial defensive role in the decisive game. Throughout the series, commentators highlighted his contributions. One coach praised his defense, noting how he held an opposing star to just 2 free throw attempts, especially after the struggles of earlier games. His impact wasn't limited to scoring. It was an all-around effort. Others also recognized his defensive actions in the game. In a post-game interview, a teammate acknowledged their friendly rivalry but lauded his defensive work, underlining how essential he was to the team's win. With 22 first-half points, he set the tone at a time when another key player was offshoot. As the second half unfolded, another teammate took charge with significant assists and led the team in rebounds, tying for the team lead in dimes. The opponent tried hard to contain him, mixing double teams with and without the ball and even zone looks, but it wasn't enough. When he's on the floor under the bright lights, he elevates his game, delivering in crunch time with a clutch shot late in the fourth quarter as his team ripped off a huge run. It was remarkable to watch, and those contributions will be vital in upcoming games. Another reserve posted a solid outing, logging significant minutes despite battling an injury this series. He's giving his all, competing as though nothing slows him down. With a robust stat line of points and rebounds, he continues to impact the game, hitting some of the toughest shots imaginable, often off the clock, stepping back for that jumper. No matter the scenario, he seems to thrive under pressure, providing consistent floor spacing and rebounding while playing off the ball. Draymond was stellar, setting the tone early with 8 first-quarter points, beginning with a drive and finish at the rim, followed by a three-pointer. I'll admit, I sighed in relief when he drained that first long ball, because it signaled he was in rhythm. He attempted 8 threes and was efficient. On defense, the team showed intensity beyond their height, and Draymond was crucial, protecting the rim and locking down multiple assignments. He guarded an opponent's star, and though we know he has ups and downs, he's always a force. Golden State formed a strong barrier around the paint, making life hard for Houston on mid-range shots. Draymond is arguably the league's best defender. It's vital to stay disciplined. No unnecessary fouls or technicals in this critical phase. We know they'll need extra contributions, hitting big shots. And when he returns from injury, one player must step up and deliver decisive buckets. Golden State has generated plenty of open looks, as opponents often don't respect the bench, especially beyond the arc. Those threes must fall. In this game of makes and misses, they did enough last night. The Game 7 victory was rewarding. Indeed, the ability to knock down those shots is fundamental. This is a championship where it all comes down to make or miss. However, they did what they needed to do. If you're pleased with the Game 7 outcome, you're probably enjoying this content. And if so, consider that incentive to stick around. A quick note, daily fantasy basketball has surged in popularity as a fun, simple way to engage with the games. Here's how it works. You pick a lineup of 2 to 6 players, then predict whether they'll finish over or under their projection. Following your favorite teams, you can turn a small wager into up to 2,000 times your money. It's a thrilling experience I've been into for a while. Highly recommended. Regarding the DFS lineup I'm eyeing for the playoffs, in one matchup I'm targeting over 5.5 assists for a player who often draws double teams, expecting him to find open shooters. For another athlete, I've got over 5 rebounds, believing he'll work the glass effectively. And for a third, I'm going under 27 points. It may sound odd, but the opponent is one of the league's best defensively. Rebounds. I think the Knicks plan to use him as a key paint presence, so he should grab a solid share. The idea of Jalen Brunson going under 27 might seem absurd. He was brilliant against Detroit, but Boston is among the NBA's elite at defending guard play. So, take my picks or leave them, but make sure to interact. Let's now dive into Game 1 between the Warriors and Timberwolves. From the tip, I expect Golden State to struggle in the opener. Let's be honest, the 37-year-old Steph and the 35-year-olds Jimmy and Dre will face a stiff test. But I'll be here, cheering them on. Man, I love these Warriors, and if they manage to keep it close and maybe steal a win, that'd be something special. It'll be a physical fight. Another team with multiple defenders for Steph, yet Golden State can leverage the intensity they showed last series. Looking back at the regular season matchups, Golden State won the season series convincingly 3-1 after a poor first game. They closed out 3 straight wins, with the last of those on January 15th. Importantly, Jimmy Butler didn't join Minnesota until February 5th, so none of those 4 games featured Jimmy on the Wolves. He's had a storied rivalry with the Dubs, and now presents a fresh challenge. Minnesota enters with a top 3 rim defense, allowing just 64.2% shooting at the rim, 3rd best in the NBA. Offensively, they take and make a ton of threes, ranking 4th in league-wide efficiency from deep. Conversely, Golden State sits around league average in many offensive metrics. Another note, Minnesota is elite in transition defense, ranking 2nd in points allowed per possession after a turnover. Golden State must exploit transition whenever possible, and they're strong there too, especially with Jimmy added, though the season stats may not reflect it yet. Minnesota plays slower than the Warriors. If Golden State dictates pace, that could be decisive. As always, feel free to pause the video to scrutinize any stat you like and ponder how this series might play out. Key defensive issues for Minnesota. They frequently concede wide-open threes, ranking third or fourth in the NBA for uncontested looks in early playoff rounds. Their corner threes are among the league's most frequent, fifth most overall. Golden State, not depending on lumbering bigs, can contest those shooters effectively. Fundamentally, it comes down to effort. The Warriors must execute their rotations. Speaking of another critical point, pace. While I hesitate to call Bransky a true third option, I've mentioned before he could be. He just hasn't broken through consistently in must-win games this season. Buddy Hield also faltered in games 5 and 6, but excelled in 7, and he's shown he can thrive against Minnesota when given the chance. Case in point, December 6th was a disappointing outing, but on December 8th he exploded for 27 points on 10 to 18 shooting, including 7 to 13 from deep. Could we see Buddy attempted more than 10 threes multiple times in this series? I'm searching for that answer. Plus, look back to January 15 TH's nail-biter. Buddy played 30 minutes and scored 18 with 5 steals, another efficient display. When he's confident, he spaces the floor, creating matchup nightmares. Over his last 60 outings since that hot start, Buddy's three-point percentage sat at 33%, far from ideal. But if now is when he rights the ship, I'm all in. I'm also braced for the possibility he has a cold night, perhaps 6 attempts with 0 makes, but I'll still be cheering him on post-game. A pivotal factor is Rudy Gobert. He dominated the Lakers in round 1, making life miserable for Los Angeles. Golden State lacks many answers for him. This season, he averaged 12 points and 10.5 rebounds in matchups with the Warriors, a real force. Offensively, he's a bit inconsistent, but defensively, he's the best rim protector today. Golden State struggles attacking the rim, one of the lowest frequency rates in the NBA. So why engage Gobert there? Instead, attack the perimeter, mid-range, and 3. The Warriors lead the league in three-point attempts. They're second overall. Embrace that strength. If they avoid banging against Gobert in the paint and focus on catch-and-shoot opportunities, force Gobert to cover ground on pick and rolls, they'll open up gravity for Curry and company. When Gobert drops back, shoot. When he sags, drive. That's the blueprint to neutralize him. Simply increase pace, exploit transition, attack the perimeter, avoid turnovers. Speaking of which, turnovers have been a nagging issue. About 5 more giveaways per game in their 3 losses to Houston compared to their 4 wins. In Game 7, they committed only 6 turnovers. That was the formula. Keep it simple. Don't rush. Take your time in the half court. But when the chance for a fast break arises, seize it carefully, not recklessly. That balance won't allow easy transition points for the opponent, as we saw in the 3 losses to Houston. Finally, play your game, step on the court, and be the exceptional player you've shown you can be. Under your leadership, this team can go far. He averaged nearly 30 points and 7.5 assists in their matchups against Minnesota in 2024 and 2025, shooting 46% on 12 attempts from deep. That clip is remarkable. Granted, Houston's defensive schemes limited him somewhat in this series, and Minnesota will likely throw different looks at him, but he must adapt. Physically, Minnesota's defenders may switch onto him, but skill-wise, it's balanced. They have McDaniels, Alexander Walker, Edwards, and occasionally Conley to deploy. It's up to him to exploit their weaknesses. One effective tactic, off-ball screen actions. Minnesota ranks near the bottom in defending those. They allow over a point per possession in such actions. Clearly, they struggle in that area, making it fertile ground for Curry to free himself, find his rhythm, and generate looks for teammates. When he shines, opponents often double, leading to kickouts and 2-on-1 opportunities. These are the essentials for victory, and soon I'll share my prediction. Home team in 7. This series promises to be long, physical, and thrilling, and I can't wait for tip-off. We'll have a live stream of Game 1, so feel part of our community as we embark on this exciting journey. I deeply appreciate all your support. I know this was a lengthy video. If you made it this far, drop a comment to show you're a true fan. I look forward to seeing you next time. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going.